This is an introduction about the raumCode device management platform. In this video, you will learn how to create a story, where following aspects will be shown. Upload assets. Create a story. Create interactions. Story structuring and testing. Now, let's start by creating a story together. Before you start with the actual creation of the story, you should have your images and script ready. For this tutorial, we will create a simple example of a canteen menu plan. First, we need to put all our images into the Assets Media Store. Simply create a folder and then upload your files. Once you've done that, make sure that your default location is correct. If your robot is online, it will ask you to push your assets. If your robot is offline, you can push them later with this button. After all our images are uploaded, we can go to the story editor. Create a new story by clicking on the plus. Give it a title and one or multiple tags if you like. Tags can be used for filtering stories. By clicking the plus on the left side, you can add a new interaction box. You can choose an interaction from the drop-down list. If you don't have an interaction yet, click on the pen sign to create one. Interactions are simple. You can get your robot to say a text, move, pause, play music, as well as display images, web pages, and videos. In my example, I want Pepper to display the main screen of the menu plan. I add an image interaction step and choose the right image from the folder I created earlier. Save it and select it in the interaction box. Next, I am able to add different inputs. First one is the answer input. With that, you're able to add spoken answers for Pepper to listen and react to. Here I will add a today's menu, but you can add multiple. Next one is the touch input. With this, you can select an area of your picture where people are able to tap on the tablet. For this example, I'm going to do touch inputs for today's menu and drinks. Note that you have to do two separate inputs if you have two different answers. You can also give your inputs a name. Another input is the memory input. It's used to register specific device events like pushing a button. The timeout input is a fallback option if the user gives no input after a specific amount of time. If you want your device to use a random interaction, you can choose the random input. This will randomly select an interaction box that is connected. You can now add as many interaction boxes with different inputs as you want and connect them through the two dots. You can also choose a story as an interaction step. For example, I created a hidden touch input that leads me to a configuration screen, so I can choose which menu of the day is active. Since you can't jump directly from one story to another, I'm going to add a new interaction that connects me to a second story. Just select the story icon in the interaction editor and add your preferred story. In this example, I already made a configuration story. If necessary, in your second story, you also need to add an interaction that leads you back to the main story. To play your story, you have multiple possibilities. Just be sure you have your device selected. If you want to test out single steps of your interaction, you can press this play button of the action you want. To play a single story element, you can press this button in the story box. If you want to play your whole story, press this button on the left side of the story editor. You can select which story box to start with by the little yellow arrow in the left corner of the story box. Now you know the basics of story creation. Try it out and experiment with your own ideas. Any more questions? Feel free to contact us on our email.